Welcome to lesson number 5. Yeah, this one is a very dear, special lesson to me, all about permission. Permission granted. Whew. I give you permission to live your best life ever. I give you permission to fall in love with me. I give you permission to smile from ear to ear. All right, I don't know if I can give you any permissions, but it sounds like fun. So I remember watching The Wizard of Oz, and I was fascinated by this movie about the concept of these four strangers who wanted a heart, a brain, courage, and one just wanted to go home. And they went through this whole perilous journey just to beat the great wizard who could grant them their wish. Only they get there, turned out the wizard's not a wizard. That's the first thing. It's like, whoa. So does that mean you can't grant us what we want? It's like, I can't grant you anything. But I can let you know that you don't need me to grant you anything. Why? Well, you came all this way to meet you. Well, guess what? You had all of those things inside you all along. And I don't know if you remember the expression on the lion's face, but he's like, I have courage. And he stands up tall. He's like, I am courageous. The scarecrow's like, oh, brain. I've always been smart. The scarecrow's like, the scarecrow. And then the Tin Man is like, oh, a heart. I do have it. I've been feeling it. And Dorothy, all she had to do was click her heels 3 times and she got to go home. So what were they waiting for? The same thing that you're waiting for. Permission. Here's the deal. Did you know that as a kid, odds are you heard the word no up to 400 times a day? No, you can't do that. No. And all of a sudden, this mom or teacher or caretaker is the permission granter. I don't grant you permission to have a cookie before dinner. Oh. And you believed it. You bought into it. And in fact, society and schools want you to keep asking permission, want you to keep playing small because they need to control the masses. If everybody thought like you do, it'd be a crazy world. Or would it? So I created this notion of permission that you could grant it to yourself. And actually, and I tell the story, I hope you'll appreciate this, but that when you come down from the heavens and you picked your parents, newsflash, yeah, just try that exercise on for size. Ooh, pick my parents? What lesson was I supposed to learn here? What lesson was I supposed to teach them? Some are good, some are bad. They're all just lessons if you really get wise enough about this. But there's a gifting suite before you come down. And in the gifting suite, you're granted, some angel grants you a gift. You ever see the little 3-year-old who can play the piano like it is? Watch it on YouTube, it's crazy. Or the girl who can sing opera at 10. Makes no sense, right? So I assume those must be gifts from somewhere else. Well, I was in the gifting suite. Only Beyonce was in my suite with me. That girl, shame on her. She took 3 gifts. She could sing, she could dance, and she was beautiful. And she was gone before I knew it because, you know me, I was too busy chatting away. And the angel looked at me and was like, okay, here, take this. Like, wait, what's that? Put it in your pocket and figure it out. Well, as luck would have it, many, many years later, I realized that I was living my life a little differently than most people. I've never really had a job, and I've never really asked for permission to do things. I've gone in the back door, around the side door. I've created my own jobs. I walked into the CEO's office of a company and just said, you need me. I know these are all stories that I tell in person. You don't need to hear them all right now. But what I realized is that this little card, the steel card, and it says, I hereby grant you permission to. See that? I hereby grant you permission to. And the crazy thing on the back of the card, it says, the card never expires. It's replaceable, transferable, and may be used at any time as often as needed. Caution, this card is used for good, not evil. I'll tell you what, because I don't want you grant yourself permission to hurt somebody, or grant yourself permission to steal, that you don't have permission to do those things. So it's kind of a fine line. I actually make these cards now and I sell them on my website at Shop Forbes Riley because I would never be without them. I keep it in my wallet. I see it all the time. Almost all of my students have at least one of these and give it away as a gift. It's a very unique gift. But imagine this exercise. I hereby grant you, and the you is the you you're looking at right now. Very often on Zoom calls, you're actually looking at yourself when you're talking. Or better yet, go to the mirror. It's a very powerful thing. Number one, you want a great life? Look in the mirror. Yeah, look at yourself for a second. Look at you. Then say, I love you. No, seriously, say, I love you. I love you for all the good things you do, all the bad things. I just love you. Because if you don't love you, you expect somebody else to? Now, are you perfect? Okay, maybe you are, but I'm not. And I don't think most people are. And every once in a while, I'll stand there naked and I'll look at my little belly and I've got some stretch marks. I pushed out twins, two 7-pound twins. And I look at my little belly and I'm like, I love you, belly. Because somehow we were magically able to make babies. Or the other side is, oh, I hate my stretch marks. Let me tell you something. In my practice, having done this I'm 60 years old now, I've seen a lot. If you keep saying how much you hate something, like you hate your body, you hate feelings, the universe will just take it away from you. Yeah. I hate my thighs. Well, I'll tell you what, the girl in the wheelchair will very happily take your wiggly, jiggly, cutty, cheesy thighs because they work and her still. I'll take a couple of the wrinkles because I know I've been through some stuff, good and bad. And I'm still here. I have friends who left the planet long before my age. And so I'm grateful and I love that. But then I'll also stand and say, I hereby grant you permission. So when I put this course together, I said, I hereby grant you permission, Forbes Riley, to share some of your secrets, to go in depth and let people understand what it takes to be successful from my point of view. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there who might tell you other things, but I've interviewed millionaires and billionaires, and a lot of them say the same thing. One thing they all say, write it down. Have a plan. Begin with the end in mind. Know what you want. Yeah. They say all the things that are in my book. I often say that you're liable to hear some of these things from somebody else, and that's fine. There's only so many principles on the planet. There's so many laws of attraction things on the planet. But it's not the message. Sometimes it's the messenger. And so if you've gotten to lesson 5, it means that you've been listening to me. Congratulations. Because I am all about helping you. I've created a bunch of courses that are only available through my sites, and they're only really designed for people who want to up-level their lives. I don't play small, I never have. I've grossed a lot of money in my career. I've also had a lot of different careers. If you Google me, you're like, wow, she was an actress and a TV host and an infomercial host. She owns a television studio and she's a mom and she writes best-selling books. And yeah, I did all of those things. And I helped start the X Games. And I've met amazing people doing infomercials. And I started Kim Kardashian on television. And, oh, I did that? Yeah, go to YouTube. You can spend like 18 days just watching all the things that I've done. Well, yay for me, right? I did them. The reason I'm doing this series is to encourage you to live your best life and to leave that legacy. Maybe you share this whole series with your kids and say, look, I'll tell you what, at the time that I'm recording this, my daughter and son are 17 years old. They both work, they make good money, they own their own companies, they're online, they're good kids. How did I do that? The principles in this book, they've been watching me and listening to me forever. And I will tell you, maybe it's because I had kids a little bit later in life, but your kids don't really listen to you as much as they watch you. They learn behaviors. They see what you really do and don't do, especially when no one's watching. And those are the biggest lessons I had to be aware of. My daughter and my son have taught me a lot. It should probably be the 5th strategy, that if you're lucky enough to have kids, learn from them. And oh yeah, I hereby give you permission to have your very, I got all that way and didn't have one flub. I'm not going to re-record this because I don't have to. 1, I hereby grant you permission to make mistakes and keep on going. But I really hereby grant you permission to live your best life, to take time for yourself, to give to others, and to pay it forward whenever you can. I believe that you're put on this planet with a couple of your own gifts, and I truly think that your mission is to share them. Stop playing small, and don't die with my second mistake. I told you I gave myself permission to screw up, and I did. Don't die having made mistakes. Don't die on your deathbed, as like my dad said. Nobody ever wishes they spent one more day in the office. But I will tell you what, they do wish they had one more dream that came true, one more person that they kissed, one more vacation. So live your life to its fullest, because I don't know about you. You may not get to do this again. But I do know if you do it right the first time, one life is more than enough. All right, I'm Forbes Riley. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the course very much. If you do, tell lots of people. If you don't, tell me, because we do our very best over here. And we do aim to support and work with everybody who wants to be up-leveled. I got 5 strategies for you right here. Okay,